Welcome to another conversation with the Brothers of Too Complex. We appreciate y'all for clicking on this video, but before we get into the content, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these bangers that we drop every single week. We appreciate the support. God bless.
Some relevant news, kind of old, but still relevant. So Jordan Addison, the talented rookie wide receiver who is going into his second year, was arrested on charges of suspected driving under the influence, or better known as a DUI. This incident has not only raised questions about his judgment off the field, but also now cast a shadow over his career. This has been a series of events, not just for Addison, but for other NFL players that have been involved with instances of drinking while driving in the NFL lately. Sticks, does the NFL have a drinking and driving issue?
I would say yes, because I feel like, and we've talked about this on the show a couple of times, where people, these young athletes that come from nothing. It's like me and D-Lo. We came from one of the roughest cities in North Carolina. We came from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Can't necessarily say we came from particularly nothing, but we came from like the trenches. Like we had to get it out the mud, low key. And for guys that are like that, who come into that, who have the talent and the God-given ability to make it to the NFL, and they get all this money, they do silly things. Like you just had Henry Ruggs. What is that? A year and a half to almost 2 years ago now.
2 years ago,
was drinking and driving and ended up killing a young lady. You know what I'm saying? And now we got
speeding too.
Yeah, going crazy. He was going
actually,
like over 100 miles per hour.
He was drinking and driving though. Was he drinking and driving, or was he just driving recklessly?
He was drinking. He was drunk too.
Okay.
Henry Ruggs was drunk too. So he just got into that situation a couple of years ago. Jordan Addison just got a DUI literally a couple of weeks after his best friend on the football team, a cornerback, what was his name? Khyree Jackson, just got killed by a drunk driver. So it's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like we got too many young guys out here with a lot of money that's just doing reckless things, buying a lot of stuff, doing reckless things, and they weren't brought up in a situation where they understand how to handle this type of, number one, attention, and number two, money, the fame and the riches that it just came into low key instantly. Because if you got that kind of ability and you get drafted, you're gonna get millions off top. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I'm scared for about Addison is that Addison had a really, really, really good year whenever whenever Justin Jefferson got hurt. He became the number one receiver, and he was a rookie. And he's going into his second year. He's trying to get paid money. He's trying to get bread. He could get money like what's old boy from Philly? He just got a new Devontae Adams. No, Devontae Smith.
Oh, okay.
Devontae Smith. Yeah. He just got paid $25 million to be the second receiver to AJ Brown, who also just got another contract for $32 million a year. So you are going into your second season where you are going into basically a contract where you can get $20 million a year because you are one of the best number two receivers in the NFL, in the league, and you out here, saying, number one, you had a reckless driving charge a week before you got a DUI, or no, not a week before, but a few months before you got a DUI, and like, bro, like, what are you doing? You messing up your money. You really about to fumble the bag because you out here doing silly shit. Like, I believe that they do have a DUI problem. I just think I don't think the NFL can do anything about it though. Like, they can give you a harsher suspension, but it's just like, number one, alcohol is legal. Not saying that anybody should do it, but every state has free alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like, not free, but like every state has legalized alcohol. Not every state has legalized marijuana, which is that's coming in some years to come. I'm pretty sure every state will end up having that over a span of time. But they're just doing silly shit and they just fumbling the bag. And like, these guys need some kind of guidance before they get into the NFL, man, because they just need to learn how to just calm down, stay out of the spotlight, stop doing silly shit, and you'll be better off throughout the rest of your career, maybe have a longer career because you're not doing the dumb shit that you're doing. But what you think? You think they got a problem, and can the NFL do anything about it in that sense?
So they definitely have a problem, and they have tried to do something about it, which is why I'm baffled that we've seen so many especially this year, because it's been kind of ridiculous. I want to say at least every month, if not every month, every other month, you've seen multiple individuals in the news for drunk driving charges from the NFL. And what the NFL has tried to do, at least from my knowledge in years past, is if you're out drinking, you can call a service and they will come pick you up for the free. And it's on the NFL. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Like, I used to roll in circles where I used to hang out with some NFL players, and anytime we were out drinking, they would always use that service like clockwork. So it baffles me that these individuals are getting these charges right now for drunk driving. Like everybody, nobody cares if you're out drinking, but everybody cares when you get behind that wheel. Well, okay, I shouldn't say everybody, because obviously somebody doesn't care if they were out with you drinking and they still allow you to get behind that wheel. Because somebody had to say, all right, man, whatever, go ahead, you all right. But nobody cares that you're drinking, but mostly everybody cares when you get behind that wheel, especially when you're drunk, and especially if you get in an accident or something like that happens, because usually it's tragedy that comes behind that. If it's not tragic, it's catastrophic. So
near there, yeah, facts.
Yeah, near tragic. So it just baffles me, man. Celebs and athletes in particular, you see in the news for these type of charges when they have the means to have rideshare. If you don't want to use Uber because you don't want most people to know that you're out intoxicated like that, they have these discreet driving services that can come pick you up. They'll be discreet about it. Won't really have your face in the news or anything like that for being intoxicated out in public, and going about your business. But don't get behind the wheel, especially after you have been drinking and driving. So I do think the NFL has tried their best to do something about it. Like I said, offering those services for the players when they are out doing things like this, and they want to get home safely, offering those driving or pickup services for free. But for whatever reason, some players, I won't say all, because I like I said, I rolled in circles where we took advantage of it. Some players just choose not to. So I don't know what it is.
I don't either, man. I mean, luckily, Addison, nothing happened catastrophic or tragic with Addison. He was just found on the side of the road, knocked out, sleep, and did a sobriety test. He was, under the influence. But something could have happened, bro. And what did they say after every single alcohol commercial? What they say? Drink responsibly, right?
Right.
And a part of the responsibility is drinking and not driving, or drinking and drinking to a point, knowing a limit to drinking. And you just got to be responsible. Just like D-Lo said, there had to be somebody around him. Like, that's why you got to roll in circles like D-Lo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like being around guys who are going to be more responsible and say, hey, we don't need to be driving this car. We need to use this service. The service is free. Why not use it? There had to be somebody in his circle that said, bro, you good, bro. Just go ahead and get to the crib, man. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean be safe? Boy drunk. What you talking about? Be safe.
Right.
Like, what you talking about?
You know when he's drunk too. You know when your boy gone.
You know when your boy gone. You know when your boy gone. Ain't no way you don't know when your boy gone. So it's like, why are you allowing your friend, who was one of the best receivers in the league, about to have a contract year, going to making $25 million a year, possibly $20+ million a year, to allow him to do something dumb like that? And that's your boy. This kind of reminds me of like a John Moran situation. You got your homies allowing you to be this dumb, but you rolling with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's just not Jordan Addison. Like I said, it's plenty of players that have been in the news for this same instance the last couple months. Sure. But yeah, it's just him that sparked this conversation between us right now. I just don't. He still has what he has to have at least 2 more years on. His
he was a rookie last year, so he's got another 2 years on this contract. But he can get paid after this next year. So he can get an extension. After 2 years, he can get an extension.
Okay.
He can get an extension, and that extension can be upwards of $20 million if he does right. Because you got Devontae Smith getting $25 million, you got Debo getting $20 million, you got, who else did I see on this list that's getting $20 million a year? Terry McLaurin getting $23 million. You got Terry McLaurin getting $23 million.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin been in the league for a few years,
for
more
a good
than two
minute
for sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's been in there for a
Debo's
while.
been in the league for more than
about
two, more
5,
than
I
three
think,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
About 5.
So,
but you got players out here that's getting bread. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got $30 million. He was balling though. I ain't gonna say like he ain't deserve it, but there's receivers out here that he's very much like, or maybe even better than. I can argue that Addison is better than Terry McLaurin. I can argue that, and he making $23 million. He making $23 million. I mean,
Terry McLaurin is nice now.
No, Terry McLaurin is good. I think Addison as a rookie was close to that at very least. Let's look at some stats. Hold on, I want to see some stats. Let me see some stats. Hold on, I'm gonna look them up. You can talk while because you can argue that while I'm looking these stats up.
No, I mean Terry McLaurin for sure is like one of the better receivers in the league. He just played with bad quarterbacks the last 2 years for sure.
I agree that I agree with.
I mean, but you could also argue that Addison lost Kirk Cousins, also lost the other viable receiver in Justin Jefferson. But, what's my boy name that came in? Dotson. Dotson came in and played well for the Vikings, and then he got hurt, and then somebody else came. But, I mean, the offensive coordinator or head coach, who is also, I believe, the offensive coordinator, he calls the play, so to speak, is pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm sure he drew up some plays to get him in position to be the best receiver possible. As you can see how Justin Jefferson's career started the last 2 years, and he's taken off.
$35 million a year contract he just signed. Good gracious alive.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Lord.
So, but I mean, to say he's better than Terry McLaurin, I mean, I could see the argument, but I still think Terry McLaurin.
I think they're comparable, but Terry McLaurin did just have 4 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, so I can't.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah.
So, but he just had 80 catch, 1,002 yards with 4 touchdowns. My boy Jordan Addison had 70 catches, 915 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So, you know what I'm saying? But of course, Terry McLaurin is the number 1 receiver. Jordan Addison had to step into that role after Jettas got hurt, and he had an amazing rookie season. So, but if you comparing stats and you comparing productivity, I say Jordan Addison after this year can get extended for a $23 million contract, but he got to keep his nose clean. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He got to keep his nose clean to stay and use the resources available to you, sir. And or big idea, just don't drink. What the fuck? Like,
or drink at home.
Or just what they say after every commercial, just drink responsibly.
Yeah.
But we saying this because we're not in that situation and we don't know what we would do with all that money, yada, yada, yada. I feel like I would be a little bit more responsible. I don't drink already as it is for real, if we being real. But but when I was in that situation, we're not gonna talk about that. But
you wasn't out drinking and driving though. So,
I was not.
The point is,
at all.
The moral of the story is you weren't out drinking and driving. And the NFL, again, I don't know if they still offer these services, but from what I know from 5 years ago, they had these services readily available. Just call this number. They'll come pick you up. You don't pay for anything. It's on the NFL. Make sure you get home safely. The NFL, I mean, I'm sure they could probably do more, but they were at least doing this to make sure that their players were safe and that they weren't putting anybody else in harm's way. So, for you, Jordan Addison, and all the rest of the players, I don't want to just point you out because you're not the only one in this situation. But again, you were the spark plug of this conversation. For you and others to knowingly have this available to you and decide to do opposite and get behind the wheel after you've had one too many is irresponsible.